A perfect example is about immigration and illegal immigration and boats, because again, you've been on this for a long period of time, and the Conservative government that's been there and now is literally campaigning against itself in terms of how hard they're going to be and what they're going to do to turn around the boats, but it's consistently got worse. Again, the EU, we see Keir Starmer's going to be in Paris today, sort of trying to find a way to sort of maybe backdoor to stay out but stay in when it comes to Europe. Tell us the latest about these illegal crossings.
So the little island of Lampedusa, south of Italy, with a population of 5,000, saw over 10,000 young males arrive there over the course of the last weekend. Blimey. Double the size of the population of the island, literally an invasion of 200 boats coming from Tunisia and Libya. And the Italian Prime Minister, elected on a ticket of stopping the boats, has given up, thrown her hands up in despair. And the European Commission President says, well, we must do something. I'm not quite sure what, but we must do something. And, you know, I stood up in 2015 in front of the previous boss of the European Commission in the European Parliament, and I told them, if you allow people that cross the Med and set foot in Italy or Greece to stay, millions will come. I was mocked and derided, Paul. I was demonised for daring to suggest it. So far, 4.7 million have come. 4.7 million. And judging by what's happened at the weekend, that may be just the start. This will be, if it continues, the death of the European Union politically, because the Poles, the Hungarians, and maybe soon even the Germans want none of this. And in terms of what it's going to do to the demographics and society and community within many European countries, I think it is more likely to be a disaster than a total success. And, you know, it makes you realise just what a brave and a good leader on this issue Tony Abbott of Australia was.
Absolutely.
He sent those boats back to Indonesia. They stopped coming. Nobody in Europe's got the guts to do that. And frankly, the more that arrive on Lampedusa and in southern Italy, the more that will cross the English Channel and come to us. So Keir Starmer can enjoy his day at the Elysee Palace with President Macron. I've been there before, by the way, for lunch. The food was magnificent. You'd love it, Paul. But what's he actually going to... Well, really good. I mean, I tell you what, they may have killed the king, right? But they kept all the crockery and the cutlery. It's a beautiful place. And the wine was... the wine was pretty good, too. But you know, what's he going to achieve? How is doing a deal with Monsieur Macron on cross-channel migrants going to benefit us at all? And when he talks about, you know, a Labour government being closer to the European Union, well, they will demand that he signs straight back up for all the things that Brexit represented, which if Starmer was to promise to do, he'd lose all that northern vote. So I'm afraid that what happens in Europe has a profound effect upon us, whether we're members of the European Union or not, when it comes to migrants. But I promise you, we are heading into complete disaster here.
Who is the lunatic who claims that when Macbeth, that the references in Macbeth to darkness somehow reinforce ideas of white supremacy? I thought darkness in that context meant depression.
Yes, absolutely. But you've got to remember that the entirety of our language must be rewritten. Gosh. Words have to have new and different meanings. And everything George Orwell wrote about in the 40s is literally coming true. But it's so mad, it's so stupid, it's so crazy that I do genuinely think within the next couple of years the pendulum will swing back the other way. It's just woke madness.
It's rubbish. Thank you, Nigel. Lovely to talk to you. We'll see your stuff on GB News. You can see it on YouTube, get the podcast and get it here on Flash as well. Thank you, mate.